and welcome to One Mic Stand, Manchester's most incredible poetry and music night. It's brought to you by Young Identity and Contact Manchester. I'm actually one of the trustees of Young Identity, and I was lucky enough to work closely with the group to produce this event for you. The reason why we're doing this event today is because of the wider conversation around the murder of George Floyd and the bigger conversation around the Black Lives Matter movement. Us as artists, we like to speak out about all of this, but we like to do it our way, and we've decided to do it through poetry and music, because that's the way we express ourselves as artists. And it's a really special event because we've sort of worked alongside Black Minds Matter UK. Black Minds Matter UK is a charity, and the aim of the charity is to raise awareness and raise monetary funding to provide Black people and Black families with resources and provisions in mental health. The work they do is intrinsic in our community right now, in regards to what's going on, and we want you to support them, support Black organisations, Black-led organisations like ours, support Black Black businesses, and support Black artists. We really hope that you enjoy the event. This pre-recorded bit from me is due to the fact that on the night we did have technical difficulties, so this will be replaced by me, and without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get into the event. I absolutely hope that you enjoy it. If you want to donate to the Black Minds Matter fundraiser that we sort of created, the description box is below, and the link is below as well. You can also donate to Young Identity, as we are a charity. Please donate. Thank you.
Leather-bound lashes fall from my mother's curdled hands. She once had father-like fists, and now they've settled into fetal position. Weak, and yet still with so much more to give. These palms I held against mine as I learnt to walk. Fingers I clung onto in doctors' rooms where I made tantrums with needles. Hers linked around mine like my long-lost twin. Daisy chaining to the high heavens, closing her off from the hell she envisioned. She was too precious, too innocent for such reckonings, a small-statured woman with wrinkles plastered across her temples. I was her first cause, her firstborn from a love union, watered from the seeds of a man I could share my secret with and hide from her. My back caged and raised off the bone like Christ's sacrifice, with God silence, facing the rage of the world to protect her from.
So that was such a beautiful poem from Naomi Sampson there, a really good friend of mine. We're going to keep it rolling, and we're going to go to Medulla next. Medulla is a Zimbabwean born Pan-African rapper and a wordsmith based here in Manchester. You can follow Medulla on social media for new music and also Pan-African content. She's at Medulla with a W and a double L. Her poem is titled Maravashe, which means flower of God.
When I asked my father if I could change my name, he looked at me as though I had just told him that I no longer wanted to be Zimbabwean. Like I had just resigned from my post as his daughter and found home inside a new name. Like my question had torn open a colonial cut that he tried so hard to stitch. For a while, I heard nothing but regret in his silence. He was trying to find a way to tell me that some sunflowers have to water their own seeds. He said that the letters in my name are hieroglyphs. Not everyone is going to understand them, but there's beauty in being able to choose who you share your story with. I used to carry my name like it was a brick in my backpack, but now it sits in the belly of my being between my lung and my liver, waiting for that slither of hope that means that one day it won't have to hide. He said that my name is fluorescent pink. It refuses to dull itself for people who only colour in black and white. My name is fluorescent pink. The single R in my name forces foreign tongues to their knees. It sounds like the marching of the unruly women that wore my name before me. My name is the product of the wars that came before me. It coddles the cries of those who died in Gukurahundi. And it's made of 2 adjacent A's that stitch together the syllables of my name like the double helix of my DNA. It's also made out of popping candy. It announces its arrival in your mouth and claims the space as its own. It's made out of popping candy that taints the tongues of those that try and tarnish its tang. Because my name was built for a Southern African twang. So don't be afraid when it enters your mouth in disguise. Because my name doesn't introduce itself to strangers.
Wow, that was an awful lot. I was sat here all the way through, like, line, punchline, content, punchline. That was Medulla. Absolutely fantastic poem. We're going to go to the next poet, who I'm really excited to see actually as well. The next poet is called Yosa. She is a fantastic poet. She's a member of Young Identity, and she's a fantastic emerging writer. She recently took part in BBC Radio 1 Extra's Words First programme and has performed at our One Mic Stand Slam before. And again, for anyone that wants to follow her, you can find her at Jerusalem, which is YORUSALEM. Jerusalem is in a holy war. Yeah, again, I don't know what it is with young people and these really quick Instagram names, but I'll take that name and I'll tell you, she's an absolutely fantastic poet. Let's go to Yosa, Jerusalem.
The ink of a sub-Saharan woman. They don't believe we bleed. How? They don't say God doesn't exist so much as I'm not a believer. Because believing births the truth, believing youth's the Eucharist of idol. Camus' idea to arrival. They don't believe we bleed. In retrograding dogma by telepathy, plasma copper, maybe nano golden resonance is what clogs the arteries in my community. Maybe the Pinot Noir ferments in our capillaries. Veins vine the garden and ate such ethereal beings. A crooked back from stolen wings. A sunken heart has shoulders heave, woman please. Crying looks so ugly on you. 2. Drown a pour, you've clogged a sore spot. If you are not strong enough for us, who will be? If we cannot cross the river in an abundance of stepping stone bodies, how will we succeed? Like Archimedes, when solid drops, the water rises in parallel. So we need you to sacrifice exponentially. The only matter is you do not heed. Martyr, please believe you do not bleed. A sub-Saharan woman touches needle to her cheek and hurries haiku on papyrus. Here lies the remains of a warm-blooded sinner. Lord, I've been gaslit.
Why? What was that? Jerusalem is in a holy war. Did you hear that? Wow. This girl has me wanting to stop writing poetry. I'm not even kidding.
You know what?
I get scared.
I thought the hottest thing in Manchester was the sun right about now, but it's clearly Jerusalem's pen. That just like it's stuff to me. We have to take a moment of silence and just contemplate that. Right, that's enough time now to see if I introduce the next person.
So that was absolutely fantastic, Jerusalem. Thank you very much for sending that in. So we're going to go on back to Fawzia now. Fawzia is a British-born Somalian poet. Like Reese said, we don't even have to introduce our poets. You know what I mean? They're just so sick. Let's get in there.
First, to see your body on the couch whilst your soul was tucked away in bed. First, to have the memory of your presence cover my eyes as I tried to sleep. First, to feel jealousy wrap me up around my body like a present I never got to open as I passed the other kids with their dads after school. First, to carry responsibility on my back, having a curved back before a curvy figure, imprinting on my soft, silky skin. So I never forget how it began. First, to learn how to swallow loneliness whilst dribbling strength. First, to have a family grow in my stomach without a due date. First, to cry you back from death. First, to pray for you and you and you and you till my lips could no longer move. First, to lay on my bed, waiting for heaven to kiss me hello, hoping hell doesn't rape me first. First, to survive after hell got there first. First, to survive. First, to survive. First, to have the past and the future together resting in my mouth. First, to be able to exhale you.
Boy, I remember that night, you know, Nasima, how sick that night was. And before the show, how nervous Fozia was. And I said to Fozia, it's because you know something great's going to happen. And yes, you can see from that video and that performance, something great did indeed happen.
Killed it. Absolutely.
Goosebumps again. Goosebumps again watching that one back. But we're going to keep it moving. Next up, we've got Ella Otomewo. She's a Manchester-based poet. She has a first-class degree, you know, first class, not just any class, first-class degree in English and drama. And as an artist, she has collaborated with BBC Philharmonic Orchestra, Manchester International Festival, the Lowry Theatre, and Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights. Ella's been a member of Young Identity for 5 years, and she facilitates creative writing workshops and has performed at spoken word events up and down the country and internationally. If you do want to follow her on social media, you can get her at Ella Otomewo, E-double-L-A, Otomewo, which is O-T-O-M-E-W-O, or follow her on Instagram, which is at Boyish Femme Poet. But this poem is called Why Is a Raven Like a Writing Desk? I'm looking forward to this one too. Hope you're enjoying the show so far.
Black wood, coal black, straight back, sharp teeth. Black wood, coal black, straight back, sharp beak. My writing desk sits at the end of my bed like a bad omen and begs me to meet it every morning. The oak brown beckons. Rest your elbows on my tabletop, your head on your hands, the pen on a page. Ravens and writing desks scare me back to childhood. They are the blackbirds of the perfect nightmare, which is to say, losing the ability to write, to capture that dreaming to waking to dreaming state would be the blackbird of the perfect nightmare. Anything can be created on a writing desk, and the raven knows that in a child's mind he is so much more than just a raven.
Whoa.
I can't cope. Honestly, I mean, do you know what?
While you're drinking what, I think I'm gonna say this. Anyone who watches One Mic Stand, you'll know that I say this often. The poets that you're seeing tonight and the poets you see on Young Identity stage are the reason why I do a lot more hosting than I do actually performing, because these guys have a lot in it. They're really special. No, and on the other end of that, they really encourage me to be a better writer. So it's wonderful to be surrounded by.
They keep us on our toes, fam. I'm telling you that.
100%.
Honest God, that was absolutely fire, Ella. Wow. So I'm gonna, before we go on to the next poet, just remind you that in the description box below, there is the fundraising link for Black Minds Matter UK. If you could share that, if you could donate, if you could tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone you know, put it on your socials, we would really, really, really appreciate that. I'm going to go on to the next poet now. We've got one of my personal favourites, Domani Dennis. So Domani is a poet from Kingston, Jamaica. He says that it's about the message, and however you want to broadcast it, it doesn't matter. It's about the message. His poetry speaks.
Powder white and stolen whips, hot lead and chrome lips, stacking bread when dope flips, story of the town tycoon. I do believe in miracles, but all so far and few. And when all you see is traps where people lack that which tells me you'll be a star. Whether it be confidence or the grace of God, I don't know, but I'm terrified of going home. And it's not just the dealing and the stealing and the blades, creeping through the town like shadows and jumping off the walls to immortalize you when you least expect it, turn you from real G to memory for those who care enough. It's not just the fear of walking down the street in a place where both men and women feel the same when the sun goes down. It's not just the fear of calling the police, it's the fear of seeing the police, but never really seeing them help. It's seeing the churches hustle the streets with dreams they love to sell. And though it offers better options, I don't believe Jesus visits hell. Sorry. Sometimes when I go home, I don't believe in getting my hopes up. It's the fear I'll graduate first class and still get roped up and choked up. And if that's not enough, then poked up by my own people. Left holy with the streets as a cross. We bleed for the sins of each other and bathe in the tears of our mothers. The weed grants them peace at the price of precious time and sound mind. We live insane and die in vain, minorities with bad priorities and little options. You're looking at a lucky one. I thought I could make it out and had the balls to try. And I cried at the thought of my peers doing years, some doing life, but all inside this box of mine that clips your wings and stops your climb and bows your head and bends your spine. You lose track of time and then it's gone. Then there's me, running so far away from where I came, I don't even look or sound the same. I feel foreign to the places that made me, a stranger to the school that raised me. You know, my grandmother told me I shouldn't go visit my childhood home because it would be too dangerous. And I remember the last thing I said to myself before leaving that place was, I will not miss it here. Where I come from, you take what you get. Where I come from, working together is a political statement often assassinated by jealousy and the notion that only one of us can get to the other side, but everyone wants to know if the grass is greener. Consider you witnessing this poem a miracle because that's how I see it. That's how we see it. And I don't need to read the Bible. I write my life and convince you God is real or angels or something. Because how? Because why me? And I'm glad I was saved from the inner city nightmare with a dream that said everything you could ever want is on the other side of this poem.
Wow. I'm glad I was saved from this inner city nightmare. And what was it? I don't believe Jesus visits hell. This guy, yo, Domani special. If you watched Our City Speaks, which was brought to you by Manchester City of Literature, Contact and Young Identity, you would have seen Domani absolutely smashed it there too.
Killed it.
Absolutely special writer. He's able to write about those really powerful things, but in a really intelligent and a really clever way. And he's a wonderful personality. So I really, really enjoyed that. I could watch Domani all day. Yeah, so if you're watching Domani, big up. We love you. Thank you for your piece. I'm going to keep it moving. Next up, we're going to hear from Keisha Thompson, who is a Manchester-based writer, performance artist, and producer. She's the young people's producer at Contact. She is chair of radical arts funding body Futures Venture Foundation. She's a fellow of the Mobo and London Theatre Consortium Fellowship and a member of Greater Manchester Cultural and Heritage Group. She just finished touring a award-winning solo show, Man on the Moon, and her debut book, Luna, features her poetry and the show script. And Moonwhile is a poetic mini album which features music from the show. In 2020, she's working with Eclipse Theatre, York Theatre Royal and Pilot Theatre to stage a new play which is called The Bell Curves. And alongside that, which I'm really excited about, she's about to release a mini album that's called Ephemera in collaboration with Tom Workalia. And I'm really excited about this one because it also features on my label. So I've had a chance to have a little bit of a listen. It's pretty special. But I'm going to start speaking. This is Keisha Thompson. And this poem is Algebra.
This is And What TV. And What TV.
This is And What TV. I'm Keisha Thompson, and this poem is called Algebra. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I used to think that I was aware of its meaning, leaning back on my chair, cocking my classroom, not really bothered about the truth. See, schools have a way of twisting things up like Rubik's Cubes. They'll tell you about algebra without telling you that it's Arabic, a word hand-picked from a foreign land, and its meaning, the reunion of broken things. Algebra is the alchemy of the unknown, which means that A can stand for anything. And I would give anything to go back to my classroom, arm raised like Einstein's fringe, to ask if A could stand for the abolition of transatlantic slavery. Could it stand for the aggressive abstraction that makes my history teacher tell me only of Wilberforce and the House of Commons? He didn't want us to show the full working out, because for that you'd have to talk about Harriet Tubman or the Haitian Revolution, or that bit where Wilberforce had to argue that slaves were property in order to set them free. Some sugar-sweet hypocrisy turned my ancestors into outdated machines so that the slave masters would reap the redundancy fee. The inconvenience of the human spirit led to the biggest bailout that this country's ever seen. I think A could stand for Aviva and all those companies that we still use today, kick-started with slave money. I think A could stand for Abraham Lincoln, who only fought against slavery because of its inefficiency. Let the slaves be free so they can pay for their own poverty. This is algebra, the reunion of broken things. I think B could stand for Black Panthers bottled up and brought to you by Beyonce. Now, I haven't got a problem with her tribute per se, but why does a Super Bowl break have to be the classroom of today? Why does it take a pop song to validate my skin, my body, my past? I think B could stand for Brazilian beauty queens too black to be broadcast. B could stand for Burger King meals served to assassins with a backdrop of burning black churches. B could stand for bleach creams, making my race more invisible than it already is. This is algebra, the reunion of broken things. I think C could stand for coercion, colonialism, credo. It could stand for capitalism, censorship, cultural castrato. All I know is this curriculum is a cesarean section of mass destruction. It will reach into your womb and pluck you from your roots unless you are prepared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Some of you might know this as Pythagoras' Theorem without knowing the meaning of his name. It can translate to destruction is a marketplace. Some of you might know this theorem just because it's named after a Greek man, without knowing that it was used by the Egyptians way back when they used to be black to build the pyramids. It was used by the Babylonians before Pythagoras had his ass kissed by Euclid. So why do we name it after him? No credit to its heritage. This is algebra, the reunion of broken things. I think C could stand for children scribbling confused calculations within the confines of their Cartesian pages, putting one digit in just one box, rehearsing their limits. I think C could stand for critique. And there's a reason why you won't find any of this in your textbooks, because maybe then everything that we've been taught might actually start to add up.
Why? Keisha Thompson, yeah. Absolutely terrifying.
Goosebumps.
She's coming with an album quietly. How do I not know that? I can't cope.
You know,
wow.
I'm just saying that it's dope. I'm just saying that it's absolutely dope.
I cannot wait to purchase that. I cannot wait to hear that. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Keisha. We're going to go from one fire poet to another fire poet. Literally, all of these poets that we're showing you tonight, they're all of our favourite poets. I'm so lucky to work with these guys because, like Reese said, they just make us want to write better, make us want to do better. We're going to Isaiah Hull now. He's a noir writer from Old Trafford, and he is exploring challenging extremities of self with image, word and soul, whether on page or on stage. His poem titles are Bled Nose Day and Frequency from his debut collection that you can purchase called Nosebleeds. You can also find him on Twitter at GhoulGoodOT. That's GHOULGOODOT. Go ahead, Ricardo.
Move on, please, Moulin Rouge, 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 move on.
Swapping blood with foxes, looting shops in summer. Eating lobster rolls, we squat the gutters. I'm on block patrol with my adopted brothers. Smile at us and we get defensive, never friendly ever. Only birds of black feathers flock together here. Uncle bikes alone up Henrietta. Throw signs of me over handlebars like Pig Latin in sign language, we are family. Flat one, the buzzer sounds and my mother shouts, let him in, let him in, let him in. Isaiah nephews Nephilim. Uncle hands down Sega Saturn smiling, I'm too afraid to ask him who he stole it from. Wife see Redbone in his early 20s. Unties his headphones, rides the med home, never served a sentence. I have turned 11s over on the rolling tongue to hide my age and baby face. The neighbors made his name in bad blood when you were rolling rentals into bank fronts. I was in favelas sipping black rum. We are family. And you were sticking up the tellers with a handgun. I was in favelas sipping black rum. We are family. I didn't visit. I sat inside writing second-hand art. You were caught in getaway car. Didn't listen to your sister who said never stray far. You were plotting on wedding day. Hearts, confetti, cake marched. Please press the tape. Made my uncle vanish. Every uncle vanish. If you didn't ask me, you wouldn't have known I was falling out of it in all its forms. With chloroform around my mouth, I took myself to counseling. 16 shouting Blitzkrieg on my way to hell. They all thought I was cured as far as they could tell. I've been bottling noseblood, saving it for these days when the poetry's no good. Small talk with the regulars, squatting in old pubs, practicing like, I'm glad that you showed up, I no longer get cold feet. Just poured myself a bath full of nosebleeds, I've been stood up for too long. All of this blood loss has given me blue tongue, so I soak my bones in a pool of Moulin Rouge as a new blonde woman pulls Lucy's from bouffants in the lobby of the Ritz. With the body of a nymph troupe, or probably the sixth, sent to check if the book is finished. I send them each back with punch spirits and swollen groin from blunt digits. Tell the devil I had a hell of a night, please. Self-apologetic white people want novellas written by clever niggas from favelas like me, singing, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
Move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on. Move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on. Move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on, please, Moulin Rouge, move on.
This guy's a problem, innit, Nasima? Absolute equation. Yeah, so that was Isaiah Hull. If you didn't know, get to know. You can check him out as well. He's got a book out on Wrecking Ball Press that's called Nosebleeds, and I can tell you it is easily one of the best pieces of literature to come out of this country in a long, long time. And I read a lot. Anyone who knows I read a lot. I'm not just saying that because he's a friend and he's a lovely guy. Absolutely powerful work from Isaiah. Again, we're going to keep it moving because it ain't about me. I'm going to give you a quick reminder again tonight. If you want to make a donation to Black Minds Matter UK, please do that. The link is below. So I'm doing that pointy thing that the scene was talking about. I've also always wanted to point at stuff for no apparent reason. But here we go. We're going to keep it moving with the next poet, who is Saf El Sonossi. Saf, also known as S2E, is a poet, rapper, and theatre maker. He's a member of the Young Identity Poetry Collective, and he has performed in multiple productions and festivals. He was one of 6 finalists of BBC Radio 1 Extra's Words First 2019 Talent Search. And this poem he's about to share with you is called Devil in a New Dress. You can find him on Twitter with the handle @Saf, which is SAF_S2E. And likewise, you can find him on Instagram at Saf S2E. This is Saf with Devil in a New Dress.
Laid by the pressures of the wisdom, not knowing if better or worse would be destined. By the graces of the lonely, we were stationed to the battalion known as Lover's Army. Breaking Cupid's neck, I left his body behind the altar. Changing the rules forever afters only last for weeks. The rest is tolerance and spiteful banter. Great sex, reputation and culture. We made it to the brink of relationships and realized we were time wasters. Love is a selling point for diamonds and wealth. Children are a pledge to legacy, a stamp on history, and evidence of wealth. We were better off chasing bodies like lions for survival. Our urges are simply primal. Heartbreaks are vital. Never trust a bitch and watch your idols become rivals. False prophets worship idols. Watch their demons tend their soul code. We were left with wrong code. See, the OGs might have failed us. But for our choices, you could only ever blame as we saw each other's pain and walked away. The work was way too much. So when the moon danced on our grave, wonder why we hurt so much. If it was our choice for such, carry bullets just to bleed your touch. Silk sheets where I feel your clutch. It was all for sucks and rolling tongues. We stayed heavy on the drugs. First party, you pop Molly, we were studying the drunk. We were often punked, often stuck, heavy tucked. Fat nigga antics had my belly humped. We fell in love over breakfast, brunch, and lunch. But for dinner, we settled for some pillow talk.
Why? Man said, for dinner, we settled
what
for
a line.
talk.
That's a way to finish a poem, innit? You know, that mic drop moment.
It's going to take a second.
Yeah. I'm going to have some water, the steamer, because I've got a fancy water bottle too, innit? And, like, this is the part of the night where I'd usually say to people that they need to bring me a ginger beer, innit? That's what I'm, you know, I've just clocked, that's the thing that's the saddest about lockdown, you know. It's not about not being able to see my family and be able to hug my grandma. It's about being at one mic stand and not being able to get someone for a ginger beer and coming back and like seeing 6 of them on the stage, because that's my hustle of getting free drinks and that, in it, because we're just poor artists trying to make a living. So what I'll do afterwards is I'll post a PO box address for you to send the ginger beer to, and I'll come out at some point and collect some ginger beer. So if you love me and if you want to, give Reese ginger beer, because that would be a really good thing for the universe alongside lots of other humanitarian causes. The Give Reese Ginger Beer Foundation is opened as of this moment. So in a little bit, please do send it my way and I'll post the PO box for that.
Listen, if Reese is getting ginger beer, I want some lemonade. I'm a lemonade kind of girl, not a massive fan of ginger beer, I'll be honest. But I want lemonade. I'm going to give you 2 addresses. Reese is going to give you his. I'm going to give you my address out here in London. I want all of the lemonade. Right.
I'm just going to say, though, if, like, you can't afford the postage to send to London, then, like, double up the ginger beers, innit?
This guy always...
Get your old hustle, Deceiver, man. Get your old hustle out here trying to steal up my ginger beer, right? I'm gonna stop asking for ginger beer and stop begging it, innit? And I'm going to let you introduce the next poet, Nasima, because I've been speaking for too long, innit? Even though Shirley's not in the room, I can see Shirley with a slipper. Like, come on, Reese, move to the next person of that.
Even though Shirley says one more thing. Anyway, let's stop talking. Let's get on to the next poet.
Yes, one of the
good friends is Nicole May. She describes herself as a millennial. She's a writer, a producer, a fantastic one at that. She's a dramaturg and director, one of the most incredible artists that I know. Nicole is also the executive producer of Young Identity, and she's performed on behalf of the British Council. She's also taught at a writing residency in Colombo and performed at the Gal Literature Festival in 2019. Her Twitter handle is @NicoleMay20 and her Instagram handle is Nikki, NIKKI20N. Find out about Nicole now.
Fell into himself like cliff edge erosion. Coastline diminishing, he is crumbling. Held up by a patchwork of gaffer tape, a montage of hands that moulded him, distorting his vision, believing he is a blueprint of imbalance, yet he is 366 symbols of astronomical knowledge, an infinite number of stars, a warrior of Nomo, and in every Zoom meeting where people look like him, chunks of trauma sit, discussing what is next. It has been 400 years of flooding on repeat. Our flood defences are weak, but we are the expression of warrior, encountering two tides, hot and cold, blessing and birthing ecosystems to exist.
Wow.
That was a lot. I always love hearing from Nicole. And I'm going to put you on blast, Nicole. Let's get this book done, Nicole. Let's get this book out. Let's get this book out. There is work there, Nicole. Come on, let's get it out. Let's get it out and let's change the game, innit? All right, let's keep it moving. And we're going to the next poet. This is Asha Sharif. And she's been a part of Young Identity for the last couple of years. She's a self-certified bedroom poet. And this is her first performance in front of any audience. So the fact that she's submitted some poetry for tonight speaks volumes of Young Identity being a safe space and a platform for lots of amazing, new, exciting writers. This is Asha.
Your mother and father argue at night over whose texture sits on your head. Dad rushes to pull out receipts proving he once walked with a shadow so large the son had to ask him to start paying some kind of tax. Your mum only needs to smirk and let her hair down. For you, the highlight of every Sunday night is the way the light hits the dent in the wall. Mum has two picks in her hand, the pink one for parting and the black one bruised by salt water. She pricks your sleeping temple and drags the trident along the shore, brushing backwards to gather everyone to the heart of the sea. There she commands the water, winds it inwards towards the nape of your neck and brushes again and again and again, peering over your head. She is a lighthouse, seeking anyone lost or forgotten. Again and again and again. And this bit doesn't hurt, but you find your eyes filling. Her fingers are moving to divide the coast, piercing with the black pick this time, twisting up into a water spout to make the safest of passages. She tells you, "Oi, stop moving," calls you head sore. Coconut oil runs down her elbow and she's setting the waves in motion is what you tell yourself. She's putting the spring in spring water. She's churning rivulets into ringlets. She's doing and undoing. She's freezing and unfreezing quietly. Quietly you think maybe submission was born here. Pulled from its root and brushed back, up, parted, raw, held in place by a rubber band. Nothing should ever hurt like this. And maybe this is where you learned to live in grief. With a towel over your shoulder soaked in shower water, or maybe this is where you first felt your mother's magic weaving and kind of like the taste of your own tears. You say it one last time, "Hoya, it hurts," and she doesn't say anything anymore, so you sit there and stare at that dent in the wall. The next morning you get ready for school and you put your hijab on carefully. You don't want to wake your ancestors. In class we know that you're listening to us. "You have your father's hair," we whisper, "and your mother's temperament, love, so unclench your jaw." The answer is 16. And say no this time. We are with you. Wade in our waters, child. We are always with you. See you next Sunday.
Oh my goodness, how visceral and how soothing and beautiful was that. Wow, Asha, I got goosebumps.
The tone.
I really felt that, man.
The tone of delivery, the tone of writing. Wow.
Absolutely stunning. Wow. We're going to keep it moving because I don't think I can discuss this poetry anymore. It hit me. Absolutely incredible. We're going to go on to the absolute goddess of poetry in the North, right? We are absolutely so lucky to have anything to do with this woman. This woman gave me my own voice, to be honest. I am so privileged to announce to you that we got Shirley May to do a poem. So Shirley has kindly done a poem for us, even though she's absolutely stupendously busy all of the time. She's done for us Do Wop and Hate from her debut collection, which was 20 years in the making, right? The next one's going to hopefully come out sooner, Shirley. It's from, she wrote her own eulogy, and it's an ode to Black women to overstand in the face of hatred and losing their children. Stunning poem.
Do-wop and hate. Blood, blues bleeding into bold women, speaking and singing songs of doo-wop, breathing metallic mustard gas, burning your insides, only seeing on the outside a dead smile, while recklessly dancing to music appropriated from ancestral rites. They are the ones who refuse to lay still like the dead. They were airborne yet wingless. They danced until feet were bloodied blues, bending but never buckling under rash, berating brutes. They wielded cutlasses rusty over time, lay like sentries with locked gates, moving in the realms of angels and demons. They were preachers singing prophetically, with their children strapped to their backs, surviving winter's harsh, springs wet and insipid, stinking summers of more lost blood and the falling monotony of an autumn life that was never theirs to possess. The prophetesses waxed lyrically with songs of mend your ways and find forgiveness within, as though throats were not raw from crying out for deliverance. Songs that would become folklore, changed over time to suit another agenda, as archaeologists would find bones and fill in sentences with their own truths. So in time, even this story would have a new interpretation. They dreamed for their children, big, not small. They save for their children's futures from the little they did not own. They moved the mountains and stood deep in shit while telling their children better times are around the corner. Better times are around the corner. They told their children that better times were around the corner. Better times. Black lives matter.
Boy. Again, absolutely firing piece. I think that everybody should own a collection of She Wrote Her Own Eulogy, and that's available on Wrecking Ball Press. And when you've bought it, there's something that Shirley does, which is lovely, is she asks people to send a picture of themselves with the book. So please do buy the book. You can get it from all good bookstores. Go and support Wrecking Ball Press, which is a great press. Buy the book. You know what? Buy two. Buy one for your friend as well, because it's a really, really good collection. And yeah, take a picture of yourself with the book, send it over to Shirley, and continue to support this fantastic woman. The thing with Shirley is sometimes she puts in so much with other people, we forget that she's a writer in her own right, and then she comes through with a poem like that, and it makes you know that, again, it's coming from a place of power and a place of precision with her poetry. So big up, Shirley. We love you. Okay, so anyone who tuned in to the last one mic stand that we did, which was digitally, back in April, you would have noticed a few things. It was the first time we'd ever done a digital one mic stand online. And Ricardo soldiered through like an absolute trooper, despite having about 75 different technical challenges to juggle. So what we decided on the night whilst we were doing the show, because different people had different qualities of internet speed, etc., it made it really difficult for the judges to score it based on, you know, not being able to hear some of the poems because their signal wasn't great or their camera wasn't great, etc. So what we did was we asked them to all the 10 slammers to submit their work via video instead, and the judges in their own time would mark it and score it. We're delighted that we've actually got the decision on who the winner was. We notified them earlier on today, and we've actually got the video of the winning poem, of the winning poet, and it's the part where you can tap your thighs, you can click your fingers, you can do whatever you do to build anticipation. And the winner of our One Mic Stand April 2020 edition is Lexia Tomlinson, and we are now going to see and hear her poem, which on the night was absolutely fire too. Remember, let's go, let's get it.
We make small talk, crawl through the spaces of time, and we're children again, hiding in a crawl space of your brother's cupboard where nobody can find us, pinpointing galaxies and poking pins into paper maps, picking out all the places we'll explore. We make small talk, slip off our sneakers and run down memory lane until we run out of things to say to each other. Remember when? Is cue for a drawn-out game of ping-pong Play-Doh, where brows become so furrowed they resemble a Kare Kansui garden. We're racking our brains trying to rake back the things that bonded us together. And no doubt, no doubts, Don't Speak is the diegetic backing track slowly bleeding into our consciousness. In our corner of the cafe, all the good times, easy conversations, and spontaneous giggles seem so far away. And I'm wondering if this is the central peak in our perk. I feel like the used tea bag clinging on for shelter on the side of your saucer. I wish this distance was something we could conquer. I really feel that I'm losing my best friend. I can't believe this could be the end. Silence was always a home we sheltered in together. Don't speak, I know what you're thinking, and that's what scares me. So I sip my iced coffee that was piping hot when we sat down, and you shift your gaze anywhere but to mine. You're not Israel, and I'm not Palestine. Yet, there's definitely a gaping wound. Sometimes empires fall without a cataclysmic conflict. We're just the crumbling ruin of the pain that neglect inflicts. I really feel like I'm losing my best friend.
Whoa! No wonder.
10.
What a beautifully crafted piece of poetry that was. Congratulations, Lexia Tomlinson. That was incredible. Definitely a deserved winner. Now,
and she wins £100 for those who are wondering what she wins. She wins 100
pounds.
So what happened was, right, and this is what I love about One Mic Stand, the Young Identity. On the night of the last slam, somebody made a donation of £50 to say they double the prize money for the winner.
Oh wow, that's
like that's special, right?
So kind.
Special. So special. So that's the end of the poetry for the night. But for anyone who's ever been to One Mic Stand, you'll also know that music is a really key part of it. So for our last One Mic Stand, we had the fantastic James Holt come and do a set for us. And we're going to have a little bit of a peek into the One Mic Stand vaults, and we're going to share some of our favorite musicians, our favorite musical acts that we've had at One Mic Stand over the years. And again, it's all in fitting with the Black Lives Matter theme, so they're all black artists who are all exceptional at their craft. So Nasima, do you want to introduce the first act for us?
I am going to introduce the first act for you all. Manchester, born and bred, one of the most incredible talents that we have in the city. You might have heard of her name. I was lucky enough to go to college with this beautiful young lady, and I remember in the canteen, whenever you'd walk through the canteen, you'd know she was there, because you know what she was doing? Bellowing so singly all the time, and it was just an absolute pleasure to know her. Misha B, let's do this.
I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, oh no, no, oh no, no, no. And some days and nights we had to do it out, so but we were never poor, cause we were rich in things that money cannot buy. We were not poor. We'll take our chains and shackles and we'll raise them high like we'll raise them like A wise man once told me, be careful who you love and where you go, because you might just end up lonely. Don't let them turn you in a puppet show. Oh, no, 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 no. Live your life for today. Don't you worry about tomorrow. Don't let them lead you astray. Just hold on, just hold on, just hold on. So I owe it to the streets, cause the streets, they gave me the best days of my life. And I'm thankful for the streets. Without the streets, there would not be the lessons that taught me wrong from right. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, oh no, no, oh no, no, no. And some days and nights we had to do it out, so but we were never poor, cause we were rich in things that money cannot buy. We were not poor. We'll take our chains and shackles and we'll raise them high like we'll raise them like we'll raise them like My granny told me when I was young, you can be anything that you want and more. She said it could happen in time for sure. Just don't let this life pass you by. She said, oh young child, what you wish you will become. Take this light of love brighter than the sun. Oh young child, what you wish you will be. Take it all, take it all, take it all. So I'm thankful for the streets, cause the streets, they gave me the best days of my life. And I owe it to the streets. Without the streets, there would not be the lessons that taught me wrong from right. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, oh no, no, oh no, no, no. And some days and nights we had to do it out, so but we were never poor, cause we were rich in things money cannot buy. We were not poor. We'll take our chains and shackles and we'll raise them. I've had money, lost money many times. Had to dig a little deeper in the darkness for the light. And those lessons we learned, all that glitters is not gold. You'll never truly feel it unless you reach down your soul. I've had money, lost money many times. Had to dig a little deeper in the darkness for the light. And those lessons we learned, all that glitters is not gold. You'll never truly feel it unless you reach in your soul. You got to reach in your soul. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, oh no, no, oh no, 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 no. And some days and nights we had to do it all. Hey, got money cannot buy. Let me hear you say, oh. Say, oh, oh, oh. 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 I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. And some days and nights we had to do it out.
Again, I'm getting goosebumps watching back that performance. That was absolutely amazing. I remember that night really distinctly and how she just literally lifted the roof off the place. While we're here, and before we introduce the next person, I wanted to speak on something with regards to Misha B, with regards to what's happening with the Black Lives Matter movement at the minute. I think for me, it's been really, really powerful to see people finding their voices in this situation, and we're taking the opportunity and using the momentum of this moment to speak on things that have been happening to Black people for a long time. For anyone who follows Misha B and follows her career and follows her life, you will know 9 years ago, she was a semi-finalist on The X Factor. You'll also remember that she was favorite for the competition and that she was sensational on that show. Every single week, she was sensational. And you may remember that two particular individuals, two judges, two high-profile people within the music industry thought it would be a good idea to assassinate her character live on air, using words like bully and mean and overconfident live on TV. And I remember at the time, lots of people speaking about that and how that experience was extremely racialized because of the words. And many people, many members of the public thought we were crazy when we were saying that these were racial tropes, the angry Black woman, the overconfident, bubbly Black woman, the bully Black woman. And I know that that had a significant impact on Misha on a personal level, because I know Misha and she's a fantastic, a beautiful spirit, a really nice person. She's generous. She loves her community and she's just down to earth. She's one of us. She gets it. And that had a significant impact on her career. And I wanted to really bring it to our attention that Misha had the strength. She found the strength last week to speak on her experience, and she did an Instagram live where she laid bare the impact of that incident that she'd experienced. And I encourage everyone to have a look and follow the narrative around it. I'm trying not to be over political, and I'll encourage you to look up for yourself, but I'd say that we've got a long way to go. We're recognizing the role of Black people in the music industry and the entertainment industry is concerned. And I think we need to find a place where we break down these tropes, we break down these racialized terms and these slurs and these things that have a significant impact on people's careers and people's lives, you know? Let's challenge that. Let's continue to call that out in every single space that we see it happening in. So Misha, we salute you. We stand with you. We love you. We know your character. We know the person that you are. And we just want to big you up and say that we stand in solidarity with you through your struggles. And we big you up for overcoming it, for overstanding it and still finding a way to shine, to radiate, to not become bitter and aggressive and angry, but to be love and to be light and to be brave and vocal. We big you up. Okay, there we go. Here ends my sermon. And everyone, wherever you are, say amen or amen or all right, our kid. If you're from the Church of Mancunia. But yeah, we're going to keep it moving to this next performer. Tabo is absolutely amazing. Again, I'm not going to give a big, long introduction other than to say this night gave us goosebumps. Tabo did some stuff that night and it felt spiritual. I remember leaving and going home and not being able to sleep despite like a 12-hour working day because this guy had done something with his vocals, with his singing, with his presence. So Ricardo, when you're ready, let's hear from Tabo.
Gonna rob you of your intellect and then tell you what you should think. Gonna use you till there's nothing left and then move on to the next and whispered, as long as the beat's right, you can say whatever you like. As long as the beat's right, you can say whatever and get away with blue murder. Get away with blue murder. Get away with blue murder. No, 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 no. Get away with blue murder. Make you love me against your will, with no regard about how you feel. Hypnotize you with these words and make you feel like I'm the best you ever heard. Oh, as long as the beat's right, you can say whatever you like. As long as the beat's right, you can say whatever. Get away with blue murder. Get away with blue murder. No, no, no. Get away with blue murder. Get away with blue murder. Ooh. She said, honestly, I sometimes can't believe the things that we hear and see. I swear it's a tragedy. Oh, no, no, no. When it seems like as long as the beat's right, you can say whatever you like. As long as the beat's right, you can say whatever you like. As long as the beat's right, you can say whatever you like. As long as the beat's right, you can say whatever and get away with blue murder. No, 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 no. Get away with blue murder. Get away with blue murder. Get away with blue murder. No, 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 no. I see them getting away with blue murder. No, no, no. Getting away with blue murder. No, no, no. I see them getting away with blue murder. No, no. I see them getting away with blue murder. I see them getting away with blue murder. I see them getting away with blue murder. Oh, 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 oh. Blue murder. Getting away with blue murder. On the radio, on the TV, on the news. That's what they do. Getting away with blue murder. Oh, 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 oh. And it breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart to see them getting away with blue murder. Oh, 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 murder. I see them getting away with. She said, oh. She said, oh. She said, oh. Oh. She said, oh. She said, oh, please. Oh, please. Don't let them get away with blue murder. No, no. 'Cause we've been dancing for far too long for no reason. For no reason. For no reason at all. She said, oh, please. Oh, please. Don't let them get away with blue murder. Murder, no, 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 no. 'Cause we've been dancing for far too long for no reason. For far too long. For no reason. For far too long. For no reason. For far too long. And she said, oh, please. Don't let them get away with. We like to pretend that this song was, we wrote it for Michael Jackson. 'Cause we've been dancing for far too long for no reason. no reason. For no reason. Just to say, oh, please, oh, please, don't let him get away with me. Oh, please. You know Mike would do that thing where he'd be like, cause we've been dancing for far too long. And you think, is that Japanese, Mike? But no, these. But no, these. I just said, oh, please, but please, please. Oh, please. Don't let me get away with you. Burn, 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 burn. I keep dancing for too long. For too long. For too long. Don't get me started. For no reason. For no reason. Don't it feel like that sometimes though? That we've been dancing for far too long for no reason. For no reason at all. For no reason at all. She said, oh please. Oh please. Don't let them get away with blue murder. On my radio, on my TV, and in the news, cause we've been dancing for far too long for no reason. For no reason at all. For no reason at all. But you said, oh please, 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 but please. This is the song that never ends. For no reason. Thank you, thank
you. So funny. That was actually one of my most memorable OMS nights for so many reasons. And gosh, it takes me back to, it makes me feel old a little bit.
That was 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 years ago, right? Wow.
Yep.
Beautiful song. What a beautiful rhythm that man has. He's got soul. Such a beautiful, beautiful song.
He has.
More soul next. We've got one of Manchester's very songstresses. We've got Ruby Ann Patterson.
I'm on top of the world. In my dreams, I'm feeding you still. I'm bleeding you dry. Devour my body like you mean it. You better eat, eat. Tell me that you need it. And then cry without a reason. You took it all, and I get the feeling you don't miss me anymore. And I'm still sore, slumbering cold rage all day, hours passing every day. And are you my love? Are you my enemy? This bridge solid between us, the lighthouse sees us. It's the light that's ever dimming, the darkest seas I'm swimming. Yeah, on top of the world. Hold your hands up and I fall. I'm raw, I cower in this slow rage. Years fade, hours passing every day. And are you my love? Are you my enemy? This bridge solid between us, the lighthouse sees us. It's a light that's ever dimming, the darkest seas I'm swimming. Yeah. Top of the world. cry, cry.
The wonderful Ruby Ann Patterson. Again, fantastic singer-songwriter from Manchester, doing absolutely amazing things. And she's soon to be a mother. So congratulations to Ruby. All the best when your beautiful little child is born. From Young Identity and the Contact family, we love you. We're coming to the end of the show now. And before we go to our last video of the night, we thought we'd get all of our thank yous out of all the plugs and admin type stuff that's a little bit boring, that, you know what I mean, would make the night end on a little bit of a boring note, basically. So first up, let me get some plugs in. We have got workshops still happening. Young Identity is still happening even in this time. So if you're a writer aged 13 to 25 and you want to write, we have workshops happening at the moment twice a week. So on a Monday and a Tuesday. So a Monday session from 7 till 9 and a Tuesday session from 7 till 9. Just look for us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Just look for Young Identity or Young IBMCR, and you can find us. You'll be invited. You'll get a link. Come and get involved. So we do them all via Zoom. The sessions on a Monday are led by Nicole May and Shirley May and some other fantastic writers. Roma Havers does workshops, Ella, all the gang, and they're all fantastic. And likewise, on a Tuesday, the sessions are run by Jardel Rodriguez and Isaiah Hull, and they focus on lots of really amazing things about their writing in terms of how to rhyme well, image, all those kind of things. So please do, if you're an aspiring writer and you want to get involved, you want to be inspired, and you want some support and some stimulus, then please do jump on the sessions. And we are due to start another session that's going to be happening on a Wednesday, which will be with myself and Shirley. So again, look out for that. Also wanted to get another cheeky plug-in. So Words, BBC Radio 1 Extra and the Asian networks, Words First is happening again. So for those who don't know, Words First is basically a spoken word talent search that happens up and down the country, with lots of amazing regions and lots of amazing organizations heading it up. Young Identity, again, is involved. We're a partner on the project, and we're delivering some workshops with some fantastic young poets, all under the age of 30. And what's going to happen is they are going to battle it out for a place as a finalist. And if they get into the final, they'll be published, I believe, and they'll be mentored by some fantastic writers and performers. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to announce who those people are, but I will say who that is, and that person is Avelino. So Avelino is an amazing rapper. If you don't know, check him out. He's absolutely dope. So we've got the semi-final happening, and that's happening on the 29th and the 30th of July. So do check that out. Just look for Young Identity. You'll get the chance to see all the semi-finalists across the regions performing, and it's going to be absolutely dope. I promise you, every single year it's on point and it's fire. Again, one more cheeky plug for the fundraiser tonight. We are raising money for Black Minds Matter UK. So please do click on the link in this video and support. No donations too small. They're a fantastic charity that supports young Black people with their mental health. So please do get involved. Please do support. Some more special thank yous. Big up to Shirley May, Nicole May, Shako Diesa, the rest of the Young Identity family and team, all the producers, the Young Identity steering group behind the scenes, Liv, Ella, Sky, just absolutely everyone. There's too many to name individually. Big up everyone at Contact, Matt Fenton, the senior leadership team, senior management team, Nancy and Claire in particular have always been great. They always support and help to market the event. And of course, big up Contact for being a consistent partner. Likewise to Home, who we've worked in partnership with for a number of years now, and they help us to support and mentor writers in their development. Who am I missing? Oh, of course, Ricardo. I did thank him at the beginning, but I wanted to big him up again. Ricardo, our wonderful videographer and our tech man. He's the head of our tech, head of tech for Young Identity now. That's his new title. If you didn't know that, that is officially his title. I've just like made it that now. And of course, I wanted to big up my co-host, the wonderful Nasima Begum, who is also a fantastic poet in her own right. If you watched One Mic Stand in April, you would have seen her do her thing. So do check Nasima out online. Anything you want to add, Nasima? Have I missed anyone out?
I want to thank you first for making me host. It's reminded me how much I miss my people and how much I miss you guys and how much I miss poetry and how important this is for us at a time like this, how important it is for us to use our words and use our voices. Honestly, tonight has been absolutely off the charts. Like, it's been beautiful for me, and it was my pleasure to host with you.
Nice one, Nasima. For anyone who's really enjoyed the poetry tonight and you want to see some more fantastic Manchester poetry and international poetry, actually, check out And What TV, which is a fantastic platform. Some of the videos you saw tonight were filmed by And What TV, which is founded and directed by Nicole May, who you saw a poem from earlier on. So we are coming to the last video of the night. We wanted to end on a positive, as it were. We wanted to end on something that's really special and meaningful to us. I mentioned at the start of the night, Ty Chijioke, who unfortunately lost his life to COVID in May. It's quite emotional for me to talk about it because Ty, for me, was a friend, and I'm really blessed that I had the privilege of calling him friend. Firstly, from being a fan of his music. I first came across Ty's music when I was in high school. He had an album that was nominated for the Mercury Prize, and I remember that year he was in really good company. Franz Ferdinand was in the same category, and I remember at the time I was into that type of music as well. And I, through Young Identity, got the privilege of actually meeting Ty and being on the same album. So Apples and Snakes recorded an album to celebrate their 25th anniversary. We went to London. I met Ty's producer, who was a guy called Drew Hawley. And I remember seeing the album on the wall, and I was like, oh, I love this album. And, you know, this is my favorite song. And then Drew basically turned around and said, well, I produced it. And if you ever get the chance to meet Ty in person, tell him that you like his music, and that will mean a lot to him. Fast forward a few years, I got to meet Ty in person in Manchester at an event that Contact put on, which was called MCs for Life. And so big up Babbitt Israel for putting that event on. And from then, a real friendship formed with Ty. He, for many people, was a mentor, was a big brother. He was the biggest cheerleader for people who were emerging in the scene, and even those who had made it, as it were. And you felt like if you had Ty in your corner, things were going to be all right. So we had the immense privilege of having Ty perform for us in 2017. What is important is some context here. Bearing in mind, Ty is an international artist. He's a big name in the hip-hop scene in England and beyond. Ty came knowing that the fee that we had to offer wasn't what his worth was, but he said, I love what you're doing. I love the young people that you've platformed, and I just basically love what you're doing, and we're going to make a way for it to happen. And Ty came, and I'm sure everyone will agree, it was one of the most memorable One Mic Stand events ever. And I'm so glad that we made that happen. You know, fast forwarding a couple of years, not knowing that Ty wouldn't be here with us for much longer in the flesh, but his spirit well and truly lives on. So again, to Ty's family, to his mum, to his sister, to his relatives, to his friends, to all those who are mourning his loss, again, we're with you. We love Ty, and it is our pledge at Young Identity to continue Ty's legacy, to keep his name alive by speaking of it at every single opportunity that we get. So we're going to finish with this video. Thank you, every single one of you, for tuning in tonight to watch and to be here with us for this One Mic Stand special edition for Black Lives Matter. If you are able to donate, please do donate, and please continue to follow the journey of Young Identity. Ricardo, when you're ready, let's roll. Let's finish the show on a high. Rest in peace, Ty.
This is so beautiful. Can you please make some noise for my DJ Business of the London Posse? All right, let's do it, Biz. Oh!
Nick Nack tied his white clipper.
Let me see. Are you like here? Can I feel you?
Nick Nack tied his white clipper.
Can I hear you?
Nick Nack tied his white clipper.
Okay, love that. All right, okay. It goes knick-knack, tied his white, give a dog a bone. Microchips in my head, credit cards and a phone, car phone and a house mortgage with a mouse garden, with a fence and a bench and a couch. CDs, DDs got me feeling like you're watching me. Passports will let you pass what court, depending where you're from, defines if you get caught. Front marching with immigration. What's your destination? What's your occupation, sonny? Limit on inflation. Wait for confirmation, papers got me chasing money. It's funny how the blood just boils. You say war, we say oil. No fire, no smoke, no guns, no goats, no smoke, cold coat, hip hop and hope. Woo! These are just everyday sophisticated Contact. Let me hear you say woo! One time, can we dance like her? Wow, I heard rappers are in danger, rappers are under stress. Radio oppress against rappers like KRS. Nevertheless, some respect makes blessings and spread love every 26 seconds. Now who the hell tells you what not to say, and who the the hell tells you what not to play? I guess I'm disobedient today with the leadership skill to lead these deviants astray. The mind is a wasting away. Let me hasten, the body is a temple's a prey. Dear child of a lesser, don't crumble under pressure unless you got a stretcher on the way. Sophisticated styles of display, stay forth with the topic like a scratching DJ. Never been basic, so basic we elevate with the force, now behave. Woo! These are just everyday flows, sophisticated. Some are just basic, but let me hear you say, woo! These are just everyday flows. One time, let me hear you say, woo! Some are just basic, 2 times for my teacher. Beautiful. Love it. Oh, yes. Whoa. 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 Break it down, Rose. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. So, we don't have much time, and I'm guessing there's some people that are unfamiliar with who I am. I'm familiar with you too, so we're learning both at the same time.